Hey guys.
Alright guys, we're here today on Throwback Thursday to do one of his favorite bands of all time. And this is a Patreon request from this Patrono right here. As to check out Mötley Crüe. Wild Side. I think I heard you play this song today, earlier on today in your room. While you were wearing one of your 50 Mötley Crüe t-shirts.
I'd much rather do Creed on the channel. I really do.
When I told you we were doing Mötley Crüe, your face sounded like the Creed guy when they compare him to Nickelback.
Yeah.
Like when they tell him, oh, you guys are just like Nickelback. The face that he makes when people tell him that, that's the face that you made.
Which is like the sourest face.
Yeah. It's like...
He's like, excuse me.
His ego completely deflated.
That's not what we sound like. My arms wide open.
Imagine that guy working at a drive-thru.
Imagine him narrating your life.
Oh, fuck. A drive-thru makes more sense.
Yeah.
Can I get a Big Mac combo? Can I
Would
get the...
you like some cheese?
Imagine the BTS combo. Asking for the BTS combo and you get...
fucking BTS combo.
And you get that voice. Imagine that. You get that voice.
Would like the Cajun sauce.
Alright, we're not here to do a Creed video, even though I think one of these days we're gonna have to.
Oh, I think one of these days we have to, like a cover.
I know, but they're on Vivo, so we can't
Okay,
touch
but I'm
it.
saying like a cover.
Like we can't MC Hammer Creed on the channel.
I know, but
What?
I don't know, man.
You're looking at Mötley Crüe. You don't seem excited.
I don't. It's not like I hate Mötley Crüe. I mean,
You enjoyed the movie.
I enjoyed the movie Dirt. Like that was okay, but
That was okay.
like,
It's not your cup of tea.
it's not something I'd ever think we would do a video on.
Oh, well, we're here. The day is here. The day is here. So
The dreaded day.
For those of you waiting for the day where we do a Nickelback video or a Creed video for that matter, hey, we're one step closer.
I feel
we're
like
checking
we
out
are.
Mötley Crüe.
I feel like we are.
We're checking out Mötley Crüe. All right.
There's gonna be a day where we do a Nickelback song, but it's gonna be like a cover.
Yeah, a cover. Maybe we can do a cover. Definitely a cover. The issue with both Nickelback and
It's 'cause
Creed
they're
is
on
Vivo.
Vivo,
I
yeah.
already told you that. All right, so Mötley Crüe Wild Side live video version. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
All right, I don't think you're ready. You're as ready as you're going to be.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. big fan of this band, so I feel like I have to go first. I mean, like,
Wait, what the fuck?
you grew up listening to these guys. I remember, like, you know, you've been listening to Mötley Crüe since like
That's
what?
right, we're listening
Since
to Skid Row
1994.
more than Mötley Crüe.
Actually, that is true
That
because
is true.
since you were young, I used to play a lot of Skid Row, and used to listen to. I mean, but they're two completely different bands. I mean, there's some similarities as far as the looks, and even as far as some of the riffs and the sound. But
I enjoy Skid Row.
I like Skid Row more.
Yeah.
I mean, I was never a fan of Mötley Crüe. Now, let me dissect this up, and let's have a nice conversation between us here, so you guys can enjoy this conversation.
Okay.
Let me start off by saying this. My gateway to Mötley, I know this is going to sound really weird because people are going to say, how the fuck you never heard of them? I was never into cock rock. Like, never. It's not my thing.
That's literally what it is.
It's cock rock. I mean, if this is, never mind glam rock, hair metal, whatever. This is cock rock. That's what this is. Now, you can slap lipstick on that cock, but it doesn't change the fact that it's still a cock. And this is cock rock at its primest exit, at its peak. Well, that's the first point I was going to say. These guys did not age well. They didn't.
Oh no.
They didn't age
Fuck,
like
half of them weren't even aging well back then too. Did you see the guitar player? I've heard the one with the black hair. He is the face of an old man, but I know for a fact he was not old then.
I know, but drugs. Drugs is a hell of a thing. But what I was going to say is that they didn't age like a fine wine. If you look at them now, they age like bread. They're all croutons now.
Yeah.
They started off as a nice little loaf of bread, and now they're just croutons. Which some would argue it's the best thing in a salad. You know, you can make that argument. So you can make that argument. I'm just putting it out there.
So they're not croutons.
Well, there are croutons because they started off as bread, now they're croutons. But I wouldn't argue that that's the best thing about a salad. But some people would say that that's the best thing about the salad. If you ask me, the bacon is the best thing about the salad. Especially if you're having like an old school Caesar salad. I can live without the croutons as long as there's bacon in there. I mean, it's kind of hard to eat a salad without some sort of bacon.
Yeah.
I mean, bacon goes with everything.
Yeah.
Breakfast, lunch, dinner, afternoon snack. I mean, it's the meal that keeps on giving as far as I'm concerned. Now, starting off with that, let me move on to the next topic. The next thing I want to say is that, like I said, I was not a fan of cock rock. It was just never... I mean, I listened to a little bit of Europe, and I guess they would fall under the cock rock spectrum, category, if you will. I listened to a little bit of Quiet Riot, Twisted Sister. Like, I dab. Maybe just the tip. I look at it from far. Yeah. I admire it from far, but I can't say that I was engulfed or balls deep into cock rock. It was not my thing. I think Manowar was as balls deep into anything cock that I've ever been in my life. So let's just put that out there. Now, that's not a bad thing necessarily either, depending on where you're coming from and depending what your preferences are. So anyways, my gateway into Mötley Crüe was actually Pamela Anderson, because I was, in my teen years, I used to watch Baywatch religiously. Not because of the acting, because let's face the facts, the acting was just slightly better than a porno. Just a Mitch.
Yeah.
And see what I did there, Mitch? A Mitch. Mitch Buchanan. That was
I know.
Okay. So it was just slightly better. But Pamela Anderson, I mean, who doesn't remember that opening shot when the credits come on and she's running on the sand?
Yeah.
And she's bouncy. She's very bubbly. Yeah. She's very bubbly.
Light on her toes.
Oh yeah. She's got like the wing the wind under her wings. You know what I mean? She's very good. So when I found out that she had a sex tape with a drummer from Mötley Crüe, that's kind of how the story came to me. You know what I mean? No pun intended, but that's how it came to me. First question I asked is, where do I get my hands on this video? This was before the internet. I didn't have internet. So it's like, I was like calling all my porno dealers, finding out
porno dealers.
Yeah, like there was a guy that lived like 2 houses below mine who had an older cousin who used to work at a video rental place. So he would bring like all the new porno releases home and we would dub it with 2... Anyways, it's a long story. So I call all my porno dealers in my town to see like, does anybody have their hands on the sex tape? It wasn't to be had. It was not until like later on that I watched it. I can't remember. I think I rented it on a Video 99 back in the day when there was Video 99. Wow, I can't believe I rented it. But anyways,
you rented.
Well, I had to watch it. Like I'm not gonna lie. I spent most of the tape fast forwarding because there was a lot of talk. And for as much as I like a good dialogue and a little bit of a storyline, it kind of became too much. So like,
I mean, now you can watch it for free probably.
Yeah, but I kind of like if you're gonna watch it, just watch the Coles notes. Just like, You can compact like that whole
Watch
videotape
watch
into
the
like
best of.
yeah, like just give me like the best 40 seconds of the whole tape.
Yeah,
That's
only 40 seconds you really need of the tape.
Exactly. I mean, that's all I really can, you know, all I really need is a good 40 seconds, let's face the facts. So anyways, so I discovered kind of like Mötley Crüe because of that.
Because of that.
Because I wasn't really, like, it was not really my thing. Like, I knew about them, but I didn't, like, how can I say this? I knew about the band, but I wasn't really immersed into their discography. Like, if you put a song and you said, hey, is that Mötley Crüe or Poison? I would be like, or Quite Right. I was like, I have no clue. They all sound the same to me. Cock slapping music, that's all it sounds to me. Like, I can't tell the difference. So that's kind of how I discovered. Now, having said that, Tommy Lee is an incredible drummer. Yeah. And I think that his ability as a drummer kind of is hidden or forgotten because of the band that he's in. Because it was more about the girls, the shenanigans. It's like you saying that the drummer from Steel Panther is amazing. Nobody cares. It's all about the shenanigans. So how good you are as a musician kind of becomes hidden by the fact of all the shenanigans around you. And I feel like Tommy Lee kind of doesn't get his credit because of the band that he was in.
See, that's the thing.
Because he's amazing.
Because he's a really, really good drummer. And I knew that, you know, even when we watched the movie Dirt, like, kind of shows off some of the stuff they did. Even in this video, it shows off that... Okay,
don't mention that because I want to get into that.
Okay, but he's a very talented drummer, and the stuff he does is very, very cool. So I'm not going to take that away, just because I'm not the biggest fan of Mötley Crüe, but if a song comes on, I won't turn it off. Like...
Unless there's something better.
Unless there's something better, yeah.
I won't turn it off. I'll just look for something else on the other stations. And then if I don't find better, then I come back to it.
Then I'll just turn off the stations in general and I'll listen to my phone.
Okay, fair.
But like,
when do you ever listen to radio anyways?
I don't listen to radio. When do you listen to the radio?
Barely ever.
Exactly.
And if Mötley Crüe comes on, I'm definitely going to check what's on the other stations. That's 100. Not that I don't like it. I feel like it's so empty.
Yeah.
It's like empty calories.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like when you're...
It's like I can listen to Steel Panther because Steel Panther, they're making fun of the whole
thing. They're making fun of punk rock, so it's funny.
That's why it's funny, but like this type of rock...
But these guys actually took themselves seriously.
Exactly.
So it's a little bit hard. Now, one last thing I want to mention is this. Imagine this video right now, it's on YouTube, right? And imagine all the millennials come across this video by, like, whatever reason. Like, whatever. They're searching for something else, and they find this. And they see the drum kit, like a tumbler, rotating. You know what they're going to say? My God, these guys stole the idea from Slipknot. Because they have no clue about... With millennials, there's no context. There's no past, there's no future, there's no present. It's just the now.
I think it's just Gen Z now. It's my generation.
You think so?
I think so. I feel like...
Is the millennials before you?
We were making fun of millennials, but then
you guys become the new millennials?
We became the new problem. I'm not going to lie.
I just feel like there's this complete lack of context and understanding, not just context, but even with our videos, understanding sarcasm. People don't get it. It's become, what you see is what you get. There's no reading in between the lines. There's not like, oh, I detect some sarcasm in his tone. No, they don't even know what that is. Because to this generation, everything is either black or white. There's no shades of gray. So I can imagine right now, like, some guy gets super triggered on YouTube. These guys stole this from Slipknot. How dare they? I'm going to cancel them. I could see that happening.
That's definitely my generation.
In bedrooms across America. I can see that totally happening. It's not going to go anywhere because then you realize, when you post it on Twitter and you try to get a following going, you realize what a fucking moron you are.
These guys were around before.
Yeah, but that doesn't stop people, for example, talking about Rage Against the Machine. You know, oh, I used to love them. Now that they've become political, I don't listen to them. They were always political.
They were always political.
They were raging against the machine. What kind of machine do you think they were raging against? The toaster?
The raging against the
fridge? The fridge? I mean, like, seriously, like, did you even listen to the lyrics? Bulls on Parade, it's not about, you know, the bulls in Spain. You know what I mean? It's not about you running the bulls in Spain, in Pamplona. It's not about that. It has nothing to do with that. You know what I'm saying? There's no bullfighting involved in Bulls on Parade. You know what I mean?
Like, even it's the funny shit is, like, I only, like, when we started the channel, that's when I started going deep into lyrics of songs. But even I knew, like, that song before the channel, and even I knew it was political. And, like, you know, it's very...
The cover of their first album is a real picture of a monk who lit himself on fire. I mean, that's the cover. I mean, doesn't get more political
than that. Yeah.
The second album is called Evil Empire. It's not about Star Wars. It's not about Star Wars.
I was gonna say.
It has nothing to do with Star Wars. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, like seriously, these people, they don't realize how stupid they sound when they open their mouths. So I just want to put that out there. Because I'm sure there's a dude on YouTube right now complaining that Tommy Lee stole this from Slipknot.
But I heard that, and I was so confused. I'm like, have you not listened to any of their older material? Everything has been political. They were like...
They don't have any song
that's not political. So, like, are you only noticing this now?
I don't get it. It's like people who say like, oh, you know, I love music. I just hate when musicians become political. Music always has a social drive, and most often than not, there's a political backing behind that social drive. You as an artist, you talk about the things that impact you in your life. I mean, unless you're Manowar or one of those bands that sing about dragons and dungeons, like there's those bands out there, and I'm not saying that they don't exist. They're out there, really, they are. But more often than not, bands tend to gravitate and talk about things that are close to them. I mean, one can argue that if you're talking about Vikings, even that could be seen as political, because you're talking about a Viking fighting for the supremacy over the other. There was a political struggle there. So when you boil down to everything is socially and political.
Music being political was...
There's nothing new.
There's nothing new about it. Like,
what do you think was happening in the 60s and 70s with the flower power? That was all political. People fighting against the war in Vietnam, that was all political.
Even like songs older than that, like World War II, people, like the songs that came out in wartime and all that stuff was all fighting against the government, but it was all like...
Yeah, it was all reading between the lines.
Reading between the lines, because if you say it out loud, then...
When John Lennon was saying "Give Peace a Chance," that's a political song. Anyways, I just find it hilarious when people complain about Rage Against the Machine being political. Like, if of all the bands in the world... Like,
you choose Rage Against the Machine. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the hill I'm gonna die on. You know. But anyways,
you choose one of the most politically driven bands of all time.
Of all time, and they never hid it.
They were very open about it.
You can argue that you agree with them or you don't agree with them. You agree with their views or you don't agree. I mean, that is a different topic of discussion.
Yeah, but they were always open about it.
But they never hid about it. I mean, their logo is Che Guevara. Do we need to go on with this? Like, I mean, doesn't get more political than this. Like, you know, Tom Morello has a hat with a fucking red star on it. I mean...
By the way, the hat...
He needs to trim the strings on the guitar. Like, somebody needs to tell him that.
But the hat was awesome.
Yeah, the hat kind of reminds me... You know who I think, growing up, he was a big fan of Dragon Ball. Because there was a pig on Dragon Ball that had the hat with a star on it. It was a communist little pig. You don't remember that character in Dragon Ball?
Character, no.
Yeah, he dressed like.
Well, I watched like the first 2 seasons.
He dressed like in an army fatigue, like he had he looked like he was a member of the. He was the member of the Red Army, and he had a hat with a red star on it. So maybe he got influenced. Maybe the hat is not political at all. He's just a big fan of Dragon Ball. There you go.
Probably.
There you go.
I definitely want to buy one of those.
I just solved all your microaggressions as far as Tom Morello's hats are concerned. Wow, this video has gone all over the place. Anything else you want to add to Mötley Crüe?
No, I think I think we're done. I really do think we're done.
Yeah, I think we're done. I mean, this was fun. Don't get me wrong. But let's try not to go there again.
I think next it's Scott Strapp.
He's got some solo
and
stuff.
I know it's not Strapp, but you know what? I'm calling him Scott Strapp.
People are gonna say like you're once again. There's no sense of sarcasm or context. So people are gonna say, hey, you're pronouncing the dude's name wrong.
That's why I had to say it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright guys, on that note, thank you for watching this video, and let's hope nobody on Patreon requests some Nickelback or
please.
Creed. Covers only.
Covers only. Because we can't actually do the real stuff, but I wouldn't want Nickelback actual, but maybe a Creed actual song.
Or maybe Scott Stapp
by himself.
Like his single stuff.
I just like the guy's voice. I just want to listen to him sing, man.
Like his guy's voice. Alright, on that note, let's call this. So, like, I'm starting to get frustrated. I'm starting to feel like there's a microaggression coming.
Okay.
It's coming. Alright, guys, on that note, see you at the next video. Take care.
See ya.